The greatest love story ever told. You know the one, Romeo and Juliet. 400 years, every language, every country. Now here's the strange part. They knew each other for 5 days.
5 days? That's it?
5 days, and at the end they're both dead.
So the greatest love story ever is a tragedy.
Exactly, and that's the puzzle we're solving today. Why do we call this the story of love? Shakespeare wrote it in the 1590s in London. The story itself was older, an Italian tale people already knew. But Shakespeare changed one thing: time. The old version took months. He squeezed it into 5 days.
Why would he do that?
Pressure. 5 days means no time to think, only to feel. And he gave us words we still use today. Star-crossed lovers. That phrase, born in this play.
Wait, that's from Romeo and Juliet?
Line 6 of the play, and there's so much more. So how does a 5-day love story become immortal? Let's go to Verona. It starts with a fight.
In fair Verona, two great families hated each other. The Montagues and the Capulets. No one remembered why the hate began. The play opens with a warning. A pair of star-crossed lovers take their life. One morning, their servants fought in the street, swords everywhere. The prince stopped it. Next fight, he warned, the price is death. Meanwhile, young Romeo Montague walked alone, sad and pale. He loved a girl named Rosaline. She did not love him back. His friends had a plan to cure him, a party. That night, the Capulets held a masked ball. Romeo wore a mask and slipped into his enemy's house. Then he saw her, a girl in the candlelight. He whispered, "Did my heart love till now, forswear its sight? For I never saw true beauty till this night." They touched hands, they spoke, they kissed. Neither knew the other's name. Tybalt, Juliet's cousin, heard Romeo's voice and burned with rage. But old Capulet stopped him. "Not here, not tonight." After the party, the truth came out. Montague, Capulet, enemies by birth. Romeo could not leave. He climbed the garden wall. Above him, a light. Juliet stepped onto her balcony. But soft, what light through yonder window breaks? It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. She did not know he was there. She spoke to the night. "O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? Deny thy father and refuse thy name. That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet." "A name is just a name," she said, "not the man." Romeo stepped out of the dark and answered her. They talked until dawn, half afraid, half laughing. Before she went in, they made a promise. Tomorrow they would marry. At sunrise, Romeo ran to Friar Lawrence, his old teacher. The friar was shocked. Yesterday it was Rosalind, today it is Juliet. But then he thought of the two families. This marriage may turn your household's hate to pure love. So he agreed, for peace, not just for love. Juliet's nurse carried the secret message to her. That afternoon, in a small cell, Romeo and Juliet were married. But the friar gave them a warning. These violent delights have violent ends. The joy lasted hours, not days, hours. In the hot streets, Tybalt found Romeo and demanded a fight. Romeo refused. Tybalt was now his family, but he could not say why. His friend Mercutio was ashamed. He drew his sword instead. Romeo jumped between them, and under his arm, Tybalt's blade slid through. Mercutio fell. "A plague on both your houses!" he cried. He said it 3 times, then he died. Something broke in Romeo. He chased Tybalt and killed him. "Oh, I am fortune's fool," he screamed. The prince arrived. Not death, banishment. Romeo must leave Verona forever. Married at noon, banished by night. Romeo spent one secret night with Juliet, then fled to Mantua. Juliet's tears never stopped, but her father misread them. He thought she cried for Tybalt, so he made a decision. Juliet would marry Count Paris in 3 days. Even her nurse said, "Forget Romeo, marry Paris." Juliet was alone, completely alone. She ran to Friar Lawrence, and he offered one desperate plan. A potion. It would make her seem dead for 42 hours. Her family would lay her in the tomb. Romeo would come take her. A letter would tell Romeo everything. That night, terrified, Juliet drank it. "Romeo, Romeo, I drink to thee." In the morning, the wedding became a funeral. But the letter never reached Romeo. The messenger was locked in a quarantined house. Plague. Instead, Romeo's servant rode to Mantua with the news everyone believed. "Juliet is dead." Romeo went silent. Then he said, "Then I defy you, stars." He bought poison from a poor apothecary. "We know Juliet is alive, Romeo does not." He rode through the night, straight toward her tomb. At the tomb, Paris stood guard, mourning Juliet. The two men fought. Paris fell. Inside, Romeo found Juliet, still warm, still beautiful. "Death hath had no power yet upon thy beauty," he whispered. He held her one last time. "Thus with a kiss I die." He drank the poison and fell beside her. Minutes later, Juliet opened her eyes. She saw the cup in his hand, empty, no poison left for her. She took his dagger. "O happy dagger, this is thy sheath." The families gathered in the tomb, and the friar told them everything. The prince spoke. "See what a scourge is laid upon your hate." Old Capulet and old Montague reached out and clasped hands. They promised golden statues, each for the other's child. For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.
Wow, both of them. Even knowing it was coming, that hurt.
Right. And Shakespeare wanted you to know it was coming.
That's what I don't get. He tells us the ending in line 6.
A pair of star-crossed lovers take their life right at the start.
Star-crossed. The stars are against them?
Exactly. Back then, people believed stars controlled your fate. Crossed stars meant fate itself was blocking you.
So he spoils his own play. Why would any writer do that?
Because he's not selling the what, he's selling the how. You know they die, so every happy scene hurts twice.
Like watching them smile with a clock ticking behind them.
That's exactly it. And remember, the hate had no reason. Shakespeare never tells us why the families fight on purpose.
So the hate is just old? That's the whole reason?
That's the point. Hate doesn't need a reason, it just needs time. Hold that thought about fate. We'll come back to it at the end. But first, the balcony, the most famous scene ever written.
And the most misunderstood line, right?
Exactly. "O Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo?"
I always thought she was asking where he is.
Almost everyone does, but wherefore means why. She's asking, why are you Romeo? Why that name?
Because his name is the problem, not him.
Right, and she doesn't even know he's listening.
That makes it braver, in a way. She's honest because she thinks she's alone.
And then the most quoted line, the rose. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet.
So a name changes nothing. The thing stays the same.
That's her argument. A rose called Mud still smells sweet.
But the play proves her wrong, doesn't it?
Go on.
Their names are exactly what kills them. The names win.
That's the tragedy in one sentence. She's right about roses. But people aren't roses. Names carry hate. Hate carries swords.
So the balcony scene is beautiful and doomed at the same time.
Both at once, and that's why the wedding matters so much. Because the friar marries them for a strange reason, not love, peace.
He says the marriage could end the feud.
Right, he's using their love as medicine for the city.
That feels risky. 2 teenagers as a peace treaty.
And he knows it. Listen to his warning again. These violent delights have violent ends.
Violent delights. Can a delight be violent?
In Shakespeare's English, violent also meant too sudden, too intense. A joy that burns too fast, burns out.
So the warning isn't about swords, it's about speed.
Both in the end. Hours after the wedding, Mercutio is dead.
And his curse lands on both families. A plague on both your houses.
He says it 3 times, and by the end it comes true.
Knowing the tomb scene, that curse feels like a prophecy.
In this play, words are never just words. Which brings us to the cruelest part, the letter.
The letter. That part made me angry, honestly.
Good. Shakespeare wanted that. Everything hangs on one piece of paper. The plan was solid: potion, tomb, letter, rescue.
And it fails because of a plague quarantine. Not a villain. Bad luck.
Now remember the prologue, star-crossed. Is this the stars, or just terrible timing?
Romeo thinks it's the stars. He says, "Then I defy you, stars."
And look closely at that line. He's not accepting fate. He's declaring war on it. I defy you.
But defying fate is exactly what fate wanted him to do.
Ooh, say more.
If he'd waited 1 day, even half a day, Juliet wakes up.
Imagine this, you're Romeo standing in that tomb. The person you love looks asleep, warm, alive, but you were told she's dead, so your eyes believe the lie.
That's the part I can't shake. He was so close.
And that's dramatic irony. The audience knows, the character doesn't. Shakespeare makes us watch, knowing one word could save them.
Even his last line is about how alive she looks.
Death hath had no power yet upon thy beauty. Death has no power on her beauty, because she's not dead. The clue is right there in his own mouth. He can't see it.
That's almost too cruel.
Thus with a kiss I die, he dies the way they met. Their first touch was a kiss, so is their last.
And Juliet wakes up minutes later. Minutes.
She sees the empty cup. She kisses his lips, hoping for poison. Nothing, so she takes the dagger. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheath.
Why happy? That word stopped me.
Because it ends the pain. To her the blade is mercy. And then, over 2 bodies, the fathers finally shake hands.
It took both their children dying, both.
Golden statues, peace at last, paid for in full.
So the feud ends, but nobody wins.
The hate didn't lose to love, it lost to grief. So, back to where we started, 5 days. The prologue called them star-crossed lovers, fate's victims. But think about what we saw. The plague stopped the letter, but Capulet rushed the wedding. And the only reason they hid at all, 2 families' old, empty hate.
So was it the stars or the people?
Shakespeare never answers, 400 years, and he still won't say.
Maybe that's why we're still talking about it.
For never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo. Now it's your turn, fate or choice. Team stars or team houses, drop your answer in the comments.
Pick a side. We'll be reading.
Thanks for watching. English learning videos are uploaded to this channel every day. Don't forget to subscribe.